Hello, ZTV sports fans. It's Megan, and today I am interviewing head coach of the men's basketball team, Mr. John Groce. How are you doing today, Coach?
Good, Megan. It's great to be on ZTV and with you.
So I wanted to start out by congratulating you on winning the Mid-Major Coach of the Year award. It's the first time a coach at Akron has ever won it. So what were your thoughts and feelings when you learned that you won that award?
Well, I always tell the guys that the individual awards are a benefit of team success. And, obviously when you win an award like that, it's not just one person. There's so many people involved. People have heard me use the phrase, it takes a village. And it really does, whether that's our community, the university, our administration, our athletic department personnel, our staff, support staff, our players, just the students that assist us, our managers, the fans, the AK rowdies, the people that are season ticket holders. It's all encompassing. I mentioned our collective as well. The Fear the Roo collective has certainly helped us continue to build the program. So, I think it's all that kind of together, working together, pulling the rope in the same direction. So I don't see it as necessarily an individual award more than it is a team award.
Yeah. So your team this season obviously broke multiple records. What made our team so special this past season?
I think it started with just their unselfishness. Obviously, they cared a great deal about each other. We had great chemistry. I thought we were really cohesive. Now, it took us a while to get to that point. We had 9 newcomers, which to bring in 9 is the most that we've ever done at any time that I've been a head coach at all 3 institutions, certainly here. And so that was challenging, and it took us a little while to figure it out, how everything kind of fit together and that necessary chemistry that you have to have in order to, achieve the special season that our guys had. But once we figured it out, which was really early on in conference play, you could feel that momentum building where we thought we might have something special.
Yeah. So Shema Scott won 6th Man of the Year this season. Talk about the growth you've seen in him since you started coaching him.
Just amazing, not only as a player, but just off the court, his maturity, the way he approaches his day-to-day. He's really grown a lot in those areas. And then obviously just a terrific player, two-way player, plays both ends of the floor. You can count on him defensively. This year, obviously, he shot more efficiently than he did in his first year with us. And then I thought he was a terrific passer, especially in the pick and roll game that we played, making decisions in transition. His decision-making and his ability to play in those situations improved greatly. And certainly had a lot of confidence in him. And I know he believes in himself, but, a lot of that too, I think, in terms of his improvement, you got to give a little bit of credit to our staff who worked with him, but none more important than Shema himself as to the commitment that he made to improvement.
Yeah. So you've been here for 8 years, and every year you've been here, you've made it to the MAC tournament, and you've in fact won 3 of the last 4 MAC tournaments. So what allows you to be so consistent every year?
Well, I think part of it is, our culture, making sure we have the right guys in there. I talk about that a lot. Guys that care about each other, guys that care about winning, you get the right people on the bus and the right people around them. So I think, I think that's huge. I think obviously you have to be talented to a certain degree. I mean, that's foundational, right? You can't, they probably, Megan, couldn't put me and you out there and expect to win in Cleveland. I won't disrespect you like that. I do know that about myself and my current game. So you have to have a certain level of talent foundationally. And then I think the character that I just talked about matters. I think our ability to prepare matters. I think our preparation matters. And then you've got to be fortunate. Maybe a night where you shoot it really well. Maybe there's a night where somebody doesn't, or a guy misses a shot, or we make one. I mean, that, whether you want to call that luck or fortune, I do think that's part of it. And we've had some good fortune, but we've also been really prepared. We've also had talented teams. We've also had, true teams, guys that are talented, but they care more about winning in the team, or as much so as they do themselves. So I think it's really, all of those things. And I always say this about a tournament, especially 3 games in 3 days. And you just saw it. We just lived it. Usually, if you're fortunate enough to play that 3rd game, 2 of the 3 games, you if you're good, you may shoot it well or expect that.
Mhm.
But there's going to be a game in 3 days where maybe you don't shoot it quite as well,
Mhm.
and so you've got to rely on other parts of the game: your rebounding,
Yeah.
your defense, hustle plays, stealing possessions. For us, that was the MAC championship. We shot
Yeah.
it so well in the quarters and the semis. In the championship, we didn't shoot as well. Give Miami credit; they shot it really well, especially the first
Mhm.
25 minutes or so. In particular with Suter and Kraft. Those guys really knocked it in.
Mhm.
And so give them credit for doing that. We didn't shoot as well. We just kind of hung around, showed some grit, a little bit of toughness, kept swinging, kept chipping into a little bit of time into that lead, and then obviously gave ourselves a chance to win it at the end.
Yeah, considering the fact that you won the MAC tournament, you made it to the first round of the NCAAs. Is the coaching atmosphere any different from the NCAA to like the regular season?
No, not really in terms of what we do. I mean,
Mhm.
we're going to do what we do and prepare in a similar way. We
Mhm.
have a real systematic process in terms of how we do that. Obviously in the tournament, I think the biggest thing is I always tell them to be physically loose and aggressive,
Mhm.
and at the same time mentally focused. On the job, we have to do one possession at a time. I don't think you can get too high or too low. You have to poise is a big deal, and just trying to play what's in front of you to the best of your ability. I think sometimes in tournaments, teams, if you're not careful, you can get caught up at looking who you might play next, or that doesn't do you any good. You've got to worry about what's in front of you, your opponent, but more important than your opponent, for us, 80% of it is what we do. We want to do what we do really, really
Mhm.
well. We always say 80-20 rule. When we compete, it's 80% about us, it's 20% about the opponent.
So, Coach, what are some of your favorite memories from this past season?
Well, there's a lot of them, right? It was just a great group of guys.
Mhm.
I always say this, and I mean it. One of the most fun things for me is taking our senior class on weekend home game weeks,
Mhm.
right before that weekend home game, to Diamond Deli for
Oh.
lunch. Those are some of the best moments with those guys, because just kind of open ended in terms of what we discuss. A lot of
Mhm.
it's not even basketball, and we have a ball with that. So I miss those opportunities.
Mhm.
Whenever I see a senior class leave, I've said that, you've heard me say that before, and that's always something that I cherish. I think just the way our group evolved is probably what I'll remember the most.
Mhm.
How we started out trying to figure things out, and weren't as connected as we needed to be. We were teaching a new offense. We were teaching a new, transition defense,
Mhm.
offensive rebounding system. Even to the vets, it was new. And trying to figure that aspect out with 9 new guys, and getting guys to embrace their roles and figure out how to play well together. And the fact that we were able to do that with 9 new guys is pretty amazing. Give a lot of
Yeah.
credit to the players for buying in
Mhm.
and wanting to do that. They got to embrace that first and got to want to be coached,
Mhm.
and so give them a lot of the credit. Certainly our support staff and staff did a good job as well.
Yeah. So, Coach, thank you so much for sitting down for this interview. That'll be it for today's interview. Thank you for watching, and as always, go Zips!